Hey everyone, my name is Layla Taige. I'm 18 years old and I wrote an entire TV series by myself. Yes, an entire TV series. All credit goes to God. I couldn't do it without him. So I really just thank God. I thank Jesus. I'll be talking about how I did it, what inspired me, and what this story means to me. So let's start off with why I wrote this TV series. Okay, so I started writing this TV series at 16 years old. Why I wrote it, I've always loved writing. I love film, I love TV, I love acting. So I mean, it's just in my blood to just love entertainment. Okay, so like a few years ago, I booked a role for a TV show and I was so excited. And to this day, like, I'm super grateful and thankful for the opportunity and to be able to experience it. The reason why this one was in particular so exciting because this was my first speaking role. So, you know, I've been on set multiple times, but this is my first speaking role where I was actually going to be speaking on TV. And so I was super excited. And when the day it aired, my part got cut out, but I knew there was a possibility because a lot of actors and actresses go through that. It's, you know, it's a normal thing. A lot of actors and actresses go through that. At the same time, I was still grateful, but of course I was like a little upset because, you know. But anyways, I just remember that day I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna make my own. And I was literally like, I'm gonna forge my own lane, forge my own path, just make my own. Like, I want people to see me. I'm going to bring it to their faces. Like, I'm done waiting. Like, you know, I'm going to show them. That day I told my mom, I was like, I'm doing it by myself. Like, I'm gonna do my own. And that's what I did. So another thing that inspired me as well, I think like a month later, we took a train and we took a train all the way to California. And it was the most inspirational, like, it was just beautiful. Like, I come from a small town in Louisiana and I was just like amazed. It was just amazing because, you know, I was able to see like the stars on the ground in person and the Hollywood sign. Like, you know, I've always seen the Hollywood sign on TV and pictures and videos. So seeing it in person, it was like, wow. It was a dream. And just being there, I was like, wow, like, I could be here. Like, I could really be here and make it, and I could be here one day. So that's what really like pushed me. I shook it off and I was like, you know, I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna make my own path, forge my own path. And then just being able to visit California for the first time, it was like a push and it was like a reminder in a sort of way, like, this is where you could end up, this is where you could be. Not could end up, this is where I will end up. So I was like super excited. So after that, I got home and I immediately started writing. And I started first writing in a bunch of journals. That's how it really got started and got pushed. So how I got the idea, I started thinking more about my own life and my own life experiences. I started thinking about this side of my life where I sometimes felt out of place in certain circumstances. So I grew up in the suburbs. I attended a predominantly white school, a predominantly white dance school. I was just always in predominantly white spaces. I just started thinking about how I felt sometimes in those spaces. Whereas it was normal to me, but at the same time, I know I always had this sense of feel that I couldn't always like relate, but at the same time I also had this yearning feel for something more or something else. And I eventually came to realize that I felt the need and yearn to be around my own people, but it wasn't even just around my own people, it was more of like the culture. So it was, I'm a dancer. I love music, I love to sing, and a lot of the music that I was more obsessed with was more of like hip hop and rap. I was just more into that. And when I was in these spaces, a lot of people cannot understand where I was coming from, what I wanted, what I yearned for. So I always felt out of place. And then a lot of times, like even when we talked about things, even if it wasn't about music or dance, like a lot of times we would just be talking about something and I'm like, I just couldn't relate to that. Like I wanted to talk about something else. I brought that aspect of my life into one of my characters in the series. But I also want to bring another side where as when she is eventually being introduced into this new world for her around her own people and being around Black culture and etc. She was amazed and in love and just felt like she belonged, which I felt in my own life when I eventually moved to Atlanta. I went to a new dance school and it was more predominantly Black, but we had more Black culture into our dancing and our moves. I just felt like it gave me more shine, and it shined more light onto us being into those spaces. So I wanted to bring that, but I also want to shed light onto how a lot of times, being a suburban Black girl, being mostly around predominantly white people, at the same time, when you are around your own, you're constantly being labeled as whitewashed or that you talk too proper or that you sound white. Stereotypes like that. So I wanted to go with a different approach that I've never really heard or seen on TV before, when it comes to one character. And I also wanted to bring in music because I love music and I love dance. So why not bring something that you love into your craft? And yeah. And so I thought about that for one of my characters. But then I got another idea and I was like, I think I want to have where I have another character and he's a guy and he's like the complete opposite. So, he didn't grow up in this privileged suburban lifestyle, and he didn't grow up around predominantly white people. So it's just completely different. And that's why this series is called Define You. And it's about two characters and they're two different worlds colliding. I started posting about my series on TikTok and Instagram, and specifically TikTok. I've been getting the most support. I've been getting support everywhere, but specifically TikTok. And I was so happy to hear that so many girls and boys, Black girls and boys, were able to relate to the message. Like, they could relate to what I was putting out there. You know, some people's been sending me emails and messages about how, not just in school wise, but in theater or in sports, just in anything, they've always felt that way. And so I'm so happy that so many people could relate. Okay, let's talk about the writing process. I had no idea how to write a script at all. I learned through YouTube. That was my class. That was my school for me. Like I said, I started writing at 16. And I first started, writing in journals. But then eventually I was able to get final draft. And that was like such a blessing. I learned and I researched after research. And I took my time. I took my time with this. I took my time and I learned on YouTube. And look at me, I did it. I spent hours, countless hours every day writing my screenplay. I was very dedicated, very determined to get it done. I had to say no to a lot of things because as I was writing, I was constantly being distracted and constantly having noises in my head, whether it was not trying to be negative, like intentionally, but also there were noises when they were like negative, And I had to let people know and be like, this is what I love to do. Like, this is what I want to do. So I had to say no. I just had to, put it to the side and be like, I'm focused on something right now, and this is what I'm doing right now. And I'm so happy and grateful. I'm proud of myself for like stepping up and for, not let anything distract me or hold me back. Like, just staying true to my craft and staying close, I was always getting visions. I was always having dreams. And when I would have these dreams, I would wake up and immediately start, jotting these ideas and these notes down. And yeah, I was always working, even when I was asleep. Like, I was dreaming about these scenes, these dialogues I was having in my head. I did my thing. Like, I was doing this every day. Some of you probably want to know how. I was actually homeschooled. I'm out of school now. I graduated this year, class of 2024, period. But yeah, I was homeschooled, and I actually want to talk a little bit about that. And I want to talk about a little bit of how people's opinions and interpretations of you cannot let them define you. So during the time when I started writing, screenwriting, we made a business move that had us to be in Louisiana for a while. And being in Louisiana, so that means like I was around my family, and I love being around my family. But at the same time, it was a little draining sometimes because compared to everyone else in my family, I'm the only one that has this not normal lifestyle. I'm an actress. I'm homeschooled. So I don't have the traditional teenage lifestyle that I feel a lot of people wanted me to have. I was always being told like these things, and it's like people wanted me to stop what I was doing and just like live a traditional life and like just do what everyone else was doing, because to them what I was doing was like not normal, out of the norm. But like I didn't let it define me, because I know, you know, people could be small-minded, but you know, sometimes it did take a toll on me, because I was like, okay, am I making the right decisions? Are people right? Should I experience traditional teenage life? But then I started realizing, I was like, this is my passion, this is what I love to do, and why would I stop that because of what someone else wants from me? And I didn't allow that to happen, because no, that just would have set me back, and I wouldn't have been where I am here today and where I am now. People just don't understand my lifestyle and what I want to do and what I chose to do. And I don't regret any of the decisions that I made. I wanted to be homeschooled, and since I'm homeschooled, I was able to have a lot of time to write a whole TV series at 16. But I actually, when these noises were in my head, I was actually able to take those, you know, comments and put it into my script. And it gave more of my title, more of a message, and just letting people know to like not let anything define them. Don't let people, don't let opinions, don't let comments, anything define who you are. Like, you define your life, you define you do what you want to do. And that's what I had to, you know, constantly tell myself, to define me, because who is you to define me? You know, we're all on our own paths, we're all on our own journeys, and God has a plan for me, and God's timing is always right. Everyone's path and journey is different. I feel like the devil was using people to try to set me back and try to create and put things in my mind to make me question what I was doing in my life. But I'm a child of God, and God didn't allow that to, you know, happen to me, and I was strong enough to not let that define me. There were so many late nights and moments, because you know, it could get frustrating. It really could get frustrating. Sometimes you don't know how to tell the story. Sometimes you don't know what to say. You get writer's block. It was a lot, but I overcame that. And as you keep pushing and keep going and keep going, you will eventually be in the place where you want to be. So I talked about a little bit more of the negative side. I do want to talk about the positive side, because it wasn't always negative. So the positive things, I'd say, were definitely the experiences that I got when I was there. You know, since I was homeschooled, I couldn't experience traditional high school things, and it's all God, but thankfully I was able to. My uncle, a huge football fan, he literally brought me to all the high school games. So being there, I was able to really feel and understand how a high school game is. So I was really able to experience a high school football game multiple times. And again, that experience I was able to put into my script, because the story is based teenagers in high school, and it was kind of more of like how you never been to high school, but you're writing about high school, right? So I was able to experience a high school football game, and not only that, I was able to experience both. So, and what I mean by both is a white predominantly school football game and a black predominantly school football game. So when I was at the white predominantly football games, I was really like taking notes and seeing how it all was, you know. And then when I went to the predominantly black school, I was doing the same thing, taking notes and seeing how it all was. And it's funny because when I was at the predominantly black football game, I actually felt like my character. And I really felt like the whole, like, I mean, it is kind of based off me a little bit. Not everything, but that particular side, it is based off of me. And being there, I was like, okay, because they had like the band and the dancers, the majorette dancers, and you know, just people who look like me. And I was like, okay, like I really felt like my character, like I had already like wrote the scene of how I wanted the character to feel and experience, but it was like being there, I was actually able to live it. And I was like, okay, like like this is, I like this. Not only football games, I was invited to prom. God gave me the opportunity to be able to go to prom, and I was able to experience both prom and homecoming. So so you know, being there, I was able to like, you know, experience like how the dance goes, and like just really experiencing the main parts of high school. And that's literally all I needed and all I wanted. So yeah, I was able to take that and put it into my script, in my screenplay. And also just like being around family, I was also able to take those experiences and use that as well, because I grew up differently from a lot of my family members. And so I was able to, you know, spend time with them more and see how they maneuvered and how their world was. And another main character, which is the guy, even though I knew what I wanted to write about and how I wanted his world to be, at the same time I couldn't necessarily say and write his world, because it's like me, I never experienced it. But when I was there around my family who kind of had that other side of the world from me, I was able to experience it. So I was, you know, around my uncles and just, you know, they dancing on the street and and dancing to music, no shoes on, like was able to like go to cookouts and experience all the good food and just the music and how everybody having a great time, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I was able, let's just put that out there, I was experiencing those things before. Like I wasn't kept away from my family, like let's get that straight. But I was, you know, since I moved, it was a long time since I've seen everyone. So being back in their presence for a long time, I was able to be like, okay, like this is how they roll over here. Like this is like, yeah. And I was able to take that inspiration and put into my other characters' world. And I could put their names out there. So the girl character name is Layla, named after me. Yep. And the guy's character name is Darius. So yeah, I was really able to not only take from my life experiences and put it in for Layla, but also I was able to get life experiences for Darius, so for him. Looking back, I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. Again, I give all credits to God. I could not do this without him. And I just look back and I'm like, how did I even write a whole TV series? Like, and like I was like, no, I'm not gonna write a movie. I'm not gonna write a short film. I said I'm gonna write a whole TV series. It was all him, like just all them nights, days, writing and just really thinking. And music. Ooh, music was such a huge part of this journey. Bro, the amount of music I've listened to just to create a whole scene in my head. Music is literally what started this whole project. I was literally listening to HBCU music in the car and I got the idea of creating like the whole theme of the story. So music, oh my gosh, like I always listen to music, and to this day I'll listen to music to get more ideas and how I want certain scenes or the message to convey. Yeah, but I'm so proud of myself, and I just want to let anyone watching that you can do anything that you set your mind to, and always put God first. And yeah, just stay consistent, stay true to yourself. Remember who you are, remember you as a person and what you're working towards and what you want. And just remember to not let anything define you, and not let anyone define you, because there will be people who will try to diminish your light, try to make you feel less than, try to diminish your creativity, make you feel like what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is weird. But all you have to do is continue to keep walking and keep going and just keep moving to the top. Just keep moving to the top. And yeah, it's literally so crazy to think that 16-year-old me literally like started this. Like, wow. And I'm 18 now. 18, and 16-year-old me, like, and I literally just like finished and like announced to the world about this. And 16-year-old me was just sitting on that sofa and was like, hey, get to work. You doing this yourself. You making your own path. You bring it to the table. Yep. And I know that my TV series Define You will be a hit. I know that I will be making history with this. And yeah, Define You will be a hit, and I will be making history. This is history in the making. So what's next? So currently we're in the budgeting stage. So we're budgeting, getting everything, all that together. Oh, I didn't even mention this, but I wrote this, but I'm also directing, producing, and starring in my own TV series. Yep. Yeah, so that's what we're in, that stage right now. So all details for anything that you want to know about, it's in the description. If you want to know more about the series and what's about, I have tons of videos on TikTok, on my Instagram. I'm going to be uploading on my YouTube shorts. And I also have a Seed and Spark campaign in the link in the description, which is the campaign to fund the projects. So if you want to support, I would be so grateful and thankful to help is sharing and reposting and liking and commenting, because that helps bring awareness. And yeah, there's literally so much to share and so much to document, and this is where I'm going to be documenting and sharing my journey. It's gonna be like my own personal diary. So if you guys are interested, please subscribe if you would like to follow on my journey for Define You to come to life. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I feel like I have more to say or I'm forgetting something, so I really hope this video comes out good. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'm excited for you all to follow this journey with me. Bye guys.